Many of you remember Donald Trump's strong words towards the UN during his campaign. He criticized the organization for allowing such shocking amounts of waste and corruption. At the time he promised to withdraw support for the UN, if they didn't change their ways. Since entering office, the Trump administration has made good on its word. The U.S. has withdrawn support from numerous UN agencies that have dropped the ball. Our ambassador Nikki Haley is kicking butt, demanding that the UN be held accountable for its failings. Now Vice President Mike Pence made a major announcement concerning a major UN fund that is largely sponsored by the United States. Scratch that, was largely sponsored. From Joe for America, in a speech this week, Mike Pence was happy to announce that the Trump administration was no longer going to rely on the United Nations to be the only ones in charge of giving out funds earmarked to aid persecuted Christians in the Middle East. The VP made the announcement at the Solidarity Dinner for Christians in the Middle East, which is an annual gala held by the In Defense of Christians in Washington, D.C. Previously, under the Obama administration, funds that were meant for humanitarian efforts were given over to the United Nations, with over $1 billion in funding entrusted. Now, the funding that once went to the UN will be given to faith-based organizations who will be in charge of distribution. Our fellow Christians and all who are persecuted in the Middle East should not have to rely on multinational institutions when America can help them directly. Pence said that it was his privilege to announce that Trump has ordered the State Department to halt the funds, saying that their ineffective relief efforts will be themselves relieved and handed to Americans who will provide support more directly. Christians in the Middle East are a minority. Most countries are Muslim and they treat their Christian populations horribly. Christians in many places are second-class citizens. They are arrested, beaten, raped, and deprived of justice. It stands to reason that the United States does everything in its power to help. That makes it all the more shocking to learn that billions of dollars meant to help persecuted people have gone to the UN instead. Anyone that knows anything about the UN will know they are the worst group when it comes to stopping genocide, persecution, or crimes against humanity. That politically toxic organization does little to improve the world. Last on their list are persecuted Christians. Now with those funds properly removed from the UN's clutches, it can actually be used to save lives. $1 billion goes a long way, my friends. Especially when it's not entrusted to corrupt bureaucrats living in New York, the UN headquarters. Let's hope it makes a difference for many in need right now.